It's ironic. It is so ironic that a guy who can't climb Gindi Mount is going to introduce two people who have climbed Mount Everest. Now, not only did they climb Mount Everest, they went on to climb the highest peaks in every single continent. And for some reason, I think they thought this wasn't challenging enough. So they skied to the North Pole and they skied to the South Pole, thus getting into the Guinness Book of World Records for being the youngest siblings in the entire world to have achieved the Adventures Grand Slam. And isn't that amazing? And the beautiful part is that they do this in order to promote gender equality and to fight against female infanticide. Who are we talking about?
Come close. No, closer. Do you hear that? It's the mountains calling out to you. And when the call comes, the chill you feel in your spine is real. Can you imagine then how two girls, twins, and barely out of their teens must have felt when they heard the call of the mountains? Did they feel the chill? And what did they do? Well, they fell in love with the mountains and tamed the uncertainties, their fears, and all the naysayers. Meet Nungshi and Tashi Malik, twin sisters, mountaineers, adventurers, trendsetters, and yes, Guinness record holders.
Getting our names in the Adventurous Grand Slam list, which includes climbing the highest peaks in 7 continents and skiing to the South and North Pole, has been our greatest achievement so far.
At Mahindra, we draw inspiration from people like Nungshi and Tashi. People who challenge conventions, push the boundaries of possibilities, set new benchmarks. We are inspired by people.
That's exactly what fit bodies do. You know, we can actually see ourselves reach at the summit of any mountain, or we may even struggle with taking one step in our house that leads to the balcony. A very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Today, my twin and I are not going to be speaking from books or movies. We're just going to be sharing our real-life examples, observations we've had in life, the experiments we've done with life, and we've seen others experiment with their lives. In our case, we're looking at an extreme achievement which was made possible by an extremely physical body. Simple. I mean, here the body can't lie. We cannot really endure all of this without training. So now there are two elements in our achievements. One is, of course, the physical, and the other is mental. So the physical is the first and the foremost. But of course, without mental, nothing works. Our bodies tend to deliver as per the mental aspect. But physical wellness is holistic. It is soundness of our physical disposition.
When we actually talk about wellness, most of us know that it's a state of healthy living, which can be achieved by a lifestyle like proper nutrition, be it regular physical activity, elimination of unhealthy behaviors like smoking, drinking, etc., and maintaining a positive emotional and spiritual health. But this narrow definition doesn't really define wellness as a whole. From the very start of this conclave, we've been noticing few components of wellness, like physical, social, intellectual, environmental, and spiritual. But with physical wellness, we realize that there are aspects of life that are very necessary to keep yourself in top condition.
From younger days, our parents have highlighted the importance of having a holistic outlook to life, in which physical wellness has been a very important component. They always said that your other achievements are wonderful, But the foundational thing is your physical wellness, and a body that is to serve you for all your life cannot be neglected at any cost, because all other things will actually depend on this foundation. Interestingly, our performances really did not affect other aspects of life, because when we invested in physical wellness, what it really meant was that there was an element that we had to look into. So we became, we became self-conscious, we became, very, very disciplined. But of course, we had dreams like anybody else. But we were aware of the fact that physical wellness is fundamental. So that was one thing that was never compromised, which unfortunately in today's world is a trend. It's the trend. And parents, because of a socio-cultural context, the physical aspect of wellness is never highlighted. Never highlighted. In days to come, when we're growing up, our parents, everybody, they never really highlight the importance of physical wellness. You'll hear parents often talk to their kids and say, "Arey, yes, today you can go out and play." But do they realize that our children have no playing spaces? I mean, what sort of a role are they playing? What active role are they playing to give the children an enabling environment, where they can pursue, let's say, physical activities. So just saying things actually have no meaning to a child if the parents are not, or in fact the societies aren't actively providing opportunities to them. But in our case, our parents did. To quote an extreme example, in our context, at a time when we were giving our board exams, 10 board exams, how it is perceived in India, it's supposed to be a game changer for parents, for everybody. In fact, they start from 8th grade. They'll start saying, "Arey, 8th class ke baad, you have 2 more years to go, and then you have your board exams. Just start preparing for it." So there's a huge emphasis on performing well in the board exams. But in our case, my twin and I, we saw ourselves in Manipur, a state where there was a conflict going on, and we were made to study in a government school, in a government high school, where we actually appeared in the board exams. But that was particularly for the reason that our parents really valued the enabling environment. And trust me, those 2-3 years while we were there with our dad, the opportunities we had, the open spaces, we could go out. In fact, the whole landscape was there for us. We could go climbing on Sundays. Every day was a day of adventure and outdoors. And that has never affected our academic performance. Even today, so from there on, we've always excelled. Now, of course, they had a lot of options. There were many choices that kept coming their way. They could have put us back into a high environment in, let's say, Delhi or elsewhere. But then they sent us to Mussoorie. For the same reason that there they valued the clean air, the clean environment, our living with nature, appreciating the various aspects of holistic environment, which we all must learn to grow up in. So they gave equal importance to that. And I must say that from thereafter, we may not have studied in the top schools, but we studied in the top environments, natural environments. And this is particularly for the reason that it was particularly for an understanding that our parents had at an early age, that if they expose their kids to the physical environment, to the physical world, nature, it's going to be a non-negotiable deal. This is something that you cannot work on in a day or two. So no matter where we studied in India, some of the top schools in Lawrence School, Lovedale, or GNFCS in Mussoorie, that was only for the reason that we were there to get used to the enabling environment, where all aspects of physical wellness was well tested. We feel that there's sometimes an apprehension that if we focus on physical environment, then we will somehow undermine other aspects of wellness. But we find that there's no excuse for saying that, because all of this is an ecosystem of wellness that we all need to look into. So that's how we were exposed to such extreme conditions, yet we were instilled the whole idea of having an enabling environment where we felt safe, we felt physically fit, we felt like, okay, fine, we can pursue what we want to, but in a very safe environment.
And the fact that, most of us are now living in major cities and metros, there's already a challenge that is growing. And in fact, it's increasing at such a high rate that this wonderful conclave is actually an example for all of us to be aware that, in life, no matter where you go, you should be able to respect, your physical aspect, because at the end of the day, it's our bodies and it's our life at stake. Often we say we like to do, if we had the time, we would love to do it. But it's actually on a wish list. We don't really implement it. We're just saying it because we want to say it. But if it was a priority, if we said, let's say, I want to go running today, and that's my number one priority, you would find time. You'll always find time for something which is important to you. And for us, despite all the education we had in life, we realized that physical wellness gives you a sense of confidence, it gives you a sense of achievement, and no matter which path you take in life, it makes you more of a self-aware person and a better person. Because you know that our bodies, they're gifted. And imagine when, we're working in difficult environments, even in your offices, when you're sitting the whole day, we're not really, our bodies are deteriorating because we're not realizing that we aren't being physically active. So it's time. In today's world, we have realized the fact that if we do not do it now, we'll pay the price for it later. So why not invest enough time in not only your career, but also implement these physical activities so that you can achieve your success faster?
We say often that, for mountaineering and all, you need to be in top conditions. And I can tell you there are myths around how being thin or fat could define your level of fitness. But I can tell you today that if somebody is fat in this room, don't be offended, because it would never really define your ability to be a fit person. Today I may be thin, but if I was not an active person, I could be an unwell person. I may not have been as physically well off. But we always say that, physical wellness will always come when you have time to spend outside, outdoors, wherever. It could be in the gym. If you even spend 20 minutes to 30 hours a day, that would really help you in achieving the goal that you have, thought of for yourselves. We tend to usually think that physical wellness is a 2 days affair. I'm sorry. When we train in the gyms, we've seen boys, who would come in from the side eyes, they'll look at us, and they're just pumping and flexing their muscles as if in 2 days they look like, Hrithik Roshan with his muscles. So we've had that impression from boys. We've seen that. But I can tell you it's a lifestyle. And to conclude, I'd actually say that if physical wellness was a part of a socio-cultural environment, then in our town plannings, in the advancement agendas, these community health centers and spaces would have been a part of it. They would have been created. But unfortunately, from planners to decision makers to everybody, the society, we don't tend to see the world in such a manner. And hence, we are now living in an environment where there are hardly any physical spaces left. So we should understand that we cannot become a victim of our circumstances. There's always a way to come out of it. So discover that in yourself. Everybody has the potential to take a step towards being a fit person. And we hope that you all are able to find and define the ability to being fit in your lives and have a healthy lifestyle. So thank you all so
we
very
not only
much.
want a healthy, we don't only want a wealthy India, but also a healthy India. So thank you so much.